Yes, good evening and welcome to the 256Skeptics. Today, we thought we should begin with a little bit of a review, like half-year review. First of all, we'll come back from the corona. Mackenzie?
Should we clap for that?
Yes, you have to.
I don't care.
Head of state,
Me,
finally.
when the bars are closed, I'm still in Corona. Not yet back.
But at least there's a little bit of softening on the sides of the restrictions.
But with more infections.
Like what?
There are more infections now.
Hey, there are more
The restrictions are reducing, but the infections are increasing.
I think you made the statement that we are opening when we have 1,000 plus cases, but we closed when we had what?
We had
No,
zero.
that was what do you call it? A fear
But you see, the problem with the COVID situation is each time they mention the numbers,
Yeah.
of late they don't tell you how many have healed. When they say we have 1,000, it includes those that have recovered as well.
Yeah, but they have been giving some
How
numbers
will
of
they
recovery.
get the money?
We have around 6,000 something cases,
Yes.
and I think around 2,700 have recovered.
No, that is
Yeah.
wrong. They should not say we have.
I just want to know how many malaria
Because if you
patients
say we have 6,000, it means you still have. Just say at the moment we have 50 cases.
Is it true that when someone gets corona and gets healed, it doesn't return? There's no chance of a reinfection?
There are so many high chances that it will return.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. We should trust the World Health Organization, which convinced us of China's effectiveness.
But
so since they haven't told us anything,
if you're to go by Ebola,
Yeah.
like in Liberia, they reached case zero, there were no more infections. But then eventually, someone who had Ebola got Ebola again. So depending on how your immunity fluctuates.
No,
if your immunity fluctuates, it can come back and
it's a
infect.
disease. It's like I've had people recover from HIV through pastors. I have no proof. These Ugandan pastors and other African pastors can heal anything.
But they've not been working for
You
corona.
would not tell me if it so happens that they do recover. You cannot tell me that if you go back and misbehave, you won't get AIDS again or HIV. So I think it's like a flu. We get flu and cough. You heal. You can still get cough and flu again in the same year or same month. So it depends.
So in the same spirit of the review, first of all, of course, welcome back. There were a few things that were said, and I'm sure our viewers, most of you still remember our earlier skits, I think around February. One of the notable things that were discussed during that period was locusts. I think among the very first
Those ones
three.
didn't come.
Valmat, you were of the view that locusts are not going to be a big issue in the country.
there is no problem with locusts. It's the same thing with this corona thing. It's not going to affect us. Okay? You see the jungle. Let me give you this.
Yes.
When the locusts went to Egypt, they did a U-turn and came south. We still have a forest. Everything is good. Everything is going to be good next year. We've had Nsenene. The Nsenene eat the same way the locusts do. They have
But
a
not
predator.
in the same quantities.
Not in the
It
same
doesn't-
quantity. These
look,
are billions.
Okay,
of
wait a minute.
inches, Martin.
Nsenene is in billions. Muziria. Me, I'm just logical here. Okay, you just need to pick up on history. Okay, it's like having a panic attack over birds. Okay, like
But I think I support his view on that.
like
I mean, the locusts.
I cannot have it's the same incident of the sky is falling.
I think it could have been maybe because of the might of the UPDF.
Yeah.
The UPDF, I think the UPDF is really
reaction.
big. The reaction, they managed to curb the
And
locusts
the country spent a
And the country.
a bunch of.
Because remember the president was telling us we had how many? 3 problems. Locusts. He handled. We had the.
HIV.
We had. We had the whatever.
Water-
the water weed.
water-
Water
water-
hyacinth.
Yes.
He handled, and COVID. That's what he gave up. He's like.
He's handling.
You mean the gym work he did in his office? He handled that.
Anyway, not to get political.
Okay.
What's your opinion of locusts?
Still, it is. Look, we did biology. For those of you who did biology, HSC, you understand that there is a complete cycle. Because it's an ecosystem. Nothing goes beyond the boundary. If you grow beyond your bridges, there's always a predator to bring you down. That's why the population of the planet always has a COVID and HIV somewhere that the scientist creates. Okay, that's how it is.
There
This
goes
is-
another conspiracy.
No,
theory.
it isn't.
A scientist
Come on,
creates.
come on. If they can clone a sheep, You mean to tell me they can't create a single cell organism?
Any proof?
I don't need proof. We have proof with the ship. It's a multi-cell organism. Big ship. They created one. Okay? If they can do that, you mean to tell me they can't
What
do a
cell?
single cell?
Okay. Then you also had a very, very alarming, I must
I
say.
haven't been alarmed
It
by
was
anything.
crazy that corona, just like the Zika virus, the virus that causes corona, would not have any major effect in our country.
WHO did not want the disease to become another racial cited, so they had to calm it down, shorten it, and separate it from the influenza buds. Right?
Talking about race, they say that it affected one black, and apparently the black healed. And so far, we don't have any other black that
Mentioned.
has
So
mentioned.
we are immune.
Wait.
So
No, wait a minute.
yes.
There's a black person?
That-
Only one?
Oh, one.
How unlucky. Like a billion people. You're only a black guy.
Yes.
You survive HIV, malaria,
Ebola.
But apparently the coronavirus, you
Gets
get
you.
it. The statistics are showing you have only 1,000 people. You know that malaria, right now, from January up to now, you have more people dying of malaria than COVID. Yet we are on lockdown.
Okay.
Okay? So, statistically speaking, I'm more afraid of malaria than COVID. I'm likely in Africa to die of a scorpion bite
Than COVID?
than COVID. I'm telling you this. In Africa, let me tell you this. In Africa, you're more likely to die from being eaten by
A lion?
a crocodile. The numbers.
As for
It's
the numbers,
Go look at the numbers.
Very
The number of
numbers.
people who die by strange insects biting them in Africa are more than people are going to die of COVID. Annually.
Do you share that opinion, Joe?
no, statistically, you're now bringing the time factor. That the number of people have been eaten by crocodiles since March. Compared now, up to now,
There's no
there's no chance.
Actually, the
There's
reverse
many-
would be true.
There's many as those
The
that
number of people who have eaten crocodiles is
probably
I'm just going to say this.
probably bigger.
because
I'm
but
just
how
going to
many
say
crocodiles will you need to have?
Look, I'm just going to say this, okay? We are completely focused on one disease, rejecting everything else, okay? Like, for example, how many people die of cancer, okay? In our hospitals, how many people are dying of, let's say, sugar diabetes and all the other,
No, I
chronic
think,
diseases.
Matthias, the problem comes in that we have gotten used to the other diseases.
What do you mean?
We are living with them.
It's
They are not news to us anymore.
It's
And actually, I'm telling you, if you gave COVID another 1 year, it will be among. Well, actually, we change our syllabus. How many killer diseases do we have at the moment?
I've forgotten that.
We
science.
we had that thing in
We had
primary.
about
7
six
killer
or
diseases.
seven.
Six.
diseases.
Now we are going to add that one.
As
Yes. Now,
immunizing. right?
yes, we shall set 7
But the
killer
difference
diseases.
between COVID and other diseases like cancer is infectiousness. You having cancer, I can live with you.
Yes.
You having malaria, I can live with you.
Yeah.
But you having COVID, all of us here will flee.
Yes.
So that's
And
what,
still you won't be sure.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
Now that's what we are worried
Essentially
about.
speaking, okay, I'm not looking at infections, a number of people infected, and all that. I'm looking at deaths.
Deaths.
Okay, I'm looking at people
And-
disappear. People who are going to go back to the soil. That is the
May-
number.
Maybe also the other issue we should be interrogating is if you get COVID and heal, do you remain the same?
That is a topic for some other discussion.
Yeah. Because maybe because those are some of the considerations of COVID, how dangerous
But
it
you
is.
see, the problem we have is now in Africa we have an issue of getting the actual truth of what is really happening. Okay, you see, initially when we began with this COVID thing, everyone was in line. Okay, but when people began saying so and so has died of COVID, and the family is like, that guy had typhoid.
When families started
Yes, because
disputing
this is his
what
family.
was being-
They have been with this person, You're saying COVID. They're like, no. The guy had a heart problem. He has had it for some time.
And he has
Eventually he has succumbed to it. You understand? But then you as a government, you're like, with our tests, it's COVID. Now, that's where the problem comes in. So you're going to have numbers of people dying in COVID because you have said they have died of COVID.
I would think most people who should die.
It should have had.
Okay. Most people who are most likely to die because of COVID are likely to have pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
You either have typhoid, you either have a heart problem, you either have a lung problem. They're the first guys who should die.
Yes.
Now, a guy who's working out in the gym who is okay, those are the guys who are surviving. Yeah. So chances. So if you tell me that this guy was sick, yeah, that's the guy who's the candidate,
likely
who's
to die.
most likely to die of COVID.
But he might not have died
Of
had
COVID.
it not.
Had it not
gotten-
gotten
not-
COVID.
had
But
it not
the guy
gotten
might have died of flu.
Anyway, that said, let me leave Balmat a bit, go to Joel. Joel, I remember one of your strong opinions, I think it was around week 3, was that the church is and has always been, the Pentecostal church, is and has always been
We're going to go back on this
an
merry-go-round.
enterprise.
I actually think
Yes.
what we perceive as fleecing is what's behind the growth of the church.
It's one of the things,
Yeah.
by the way.
That a pastor coming or someone setting up a church and he gets a hammer or gets a better life, encourages other people to also spread the word and also start the church.
So it means
Yeah.
it
Yes.
makes
You see?
people get the urge
Because-
to start.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
start.
So because of that,
they see the other guys
Yeah.
making it overnight.
as opposed to someone who goes to seminary, then he comes out with the power something.
Something.
By the time he graduates,
Feels
that's the same time
45.
also leaving the university. Now that's when the pastor is also getting out, and then now he has to go to some up country place,
parish.
parish
serve.
to start serving.
Yes.
And he has
By
to
the time-
serve for 20 years.
for 20
before he
years. By the
gets
time they come
promoted
to town,
a
they
cardinal or
are-
something.
Yeah. Now here, a guy who started in 2010, right now, at least he has some new suits.
10 years of
He
experience.
has married twice.
Yes. And he has grown with
He
time.
has grown with time.
So,
So it helps.
So it goes back to him saying it's capitalistic. Because
yes,
that's
we
true.
should.
The church has been an enterprise, and COVID has really illustrated that.
Pentecostal.
Also, the Pentecostal church.
Yes.
But
Come on, it's every church.
Pentecostal. No, actually, if you follow Joel's statement,
Yeah.
even in the COVID times, I
All-
discovered
all
the Pentecostal
businesses-
churches were making more noise.
all businesses have been affected,
Yeah.
Hmm?
All businesses.
and the people who have, I think, who have been at the forefront of opening up for business have been the pastors.
Yes.
And there's an example actually today. I think most Pentecostal churches, I think all of them open,
Yes.
but the Church of Uganda in Mukono did not open
Why?
because they said they haven't yet, they don't have the capability to meet the SOPs yet.
Yes.
Okay. Now the business people have opened. For them, they're making money.
Business
it's not about
is business.
your SOPs.
Back to business as usual.
They're back to business.
So nothing has swayed your opinion about the enterprise.
The church is an enterprise. The church is an, okay, actually, the church is an enterprise. Pentecostals,
The church is
I
an
just,
enterprise. We have a
we
have a very big-
sole propriating,
good example.
sole propriet.
Good example of a group of them who collected money for over 2,000 years. Those guys are sinking in gold.
But that
And,
said,
and also, remember how like all businesses were contributing towards the fight.
yes.
Yeah, and some Pentecostals, you remember?
Yeah,
100 million from some
100
guy.
million from,
Yeah,
but it was from the business side of things. I think salt,
because it is of what salt.
or something. Okay.
No, but they did give food. I don't know how much that was valuable.
They gave food. I think Kakande Ministries was active in helping. Watoto was heavily helped.
Okay.
But selling the word of God, I don't know if there's a problem. You can sell the word of God.
Okay, let's not repeat that discussion now. Next, I think, Mackenzie, there was an issue.
Which one?
There's a time you are strongly willed that if gentlemen are to be successful in their relationships, and actually your comparison was money, women versus sex. If you were to move the three, you either had to have the three or have none and just be a normal
It was money, sex, and
women.
women.
Yes.
I think I still stand by my point because the three are inseparable, you know? Men need the women. It will be like you going to a restaurant and you order for food without you having the money to pay for it. You understand? So I strongly stand by that and tell my fellow men, if you have no money, forget the women. Live in your cocoon, be alone, forget.
But then,
So you mean it's like a shelf? I can look at the high-priced ones, and I'm like, okay,
yes,
solar,
you can,
no,
because
like,
they're in values. You can say, okay, I'll go for this.
Yeah, some less demanding ones
I'll
down
settle here.
you
But
find your
still,
level.
the money has to be there, you know. And you see, when you have the money, it's easy for you to talk. You bring suggestions.
I can see where.
Without the money, you're not entitled to suggestions.
Okay.
Yes, a guy who has no money. Actually, even if you go for these clan meetings, I've discovered guys who have money, their opinions are bought easily.
They will fund their
Yes,
opinions.
but now you're like, now you say on this function we should avoid. Oh, you get a chi, eh? Yeah, but a rich guy can say, no, we can leave this out and settle for this. They're like, yes, because they know he will contribute. You know, but they're going to think you're refusing that because you can't actually.
You want to save.
You want to save. You're not going to contribute. So me, I think with the three have to be in line. For you, if you're to have a nice relationship, or if it is to last anyway, because most of the wrangles I've seen in most relationships are not about a guy cheated. I mean, guys cheat. Women cheat more. You understand?
Statistically, I think.
Yes,
From
but
statistics.
with money, you can bend that.
Because unless women are cheating by themselves.
A plain sorry does not get you out of that.
Okay.
Yes, but finance the sorry and say, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, you buy the email.
Buy an email and say, I won't do that again. The next time she knows you'll bring a jeep. So your cheating is beneficial her side in one way. Yes, it's easy to apologize.
To schedule that in our discussions next time. Now.